Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Sleepover Movie Club. I'm your host, Brian, as always, and I have with me Boyo.
Hey guys.
And for this week, we watched the movie Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan. Came out in 2020. Has a confusing story, so Boyo, what was it? What was the story?
Before we start, this morning I was gonna write a script for this summary because I am so confused too.
No shot.
But I didn't. No, I know what happens. It's just hard to put it into words, you know? For it to make sense. So our protagonist, he dies, but they're like, you know what? This guy is such a good... He doesn't die.
Uh-huh.
They're like, this guy is such a good, one of our best officers that we need him in this program. But it was his program to begin with. Bum, bum, bum. His future self basically recruits his past self, so he is involved in this mission. And the mission is to stop the destruction of their present so their future is better, essentially.
Wait. Why do you have actually such a good understanding of the movie? I'm actually so surprised.
I'm telling you, I understood it so well, I fell asleep a bit. But
did you watch the videos?
No, I watched the video, but I didn't understand the video, and I got the hang of it. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, okay.
Like I understood the story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's basically what happened. He just has to stop the end of stop his present from being like destroyed.
Yep. All right. So yeah, that's the story of it. So let me get into some numbers real quick. So yeah, this movie came out in 2020, August 12th. It came out during the pandemic. What?
I was say the biggest part of it is going back in time.
Oh, you didn't even mention it, huh?
I didn't mention it.
You made it sound so easy.
Yeah. The way his future self did all of that stuff is by going back in time, but reversing, like going backwards.
Inversion.
Instead of just teleporting or doing some crazy stuff like that, they just start going backwards.
So what are your thoughts on that method of time travel?
Very confusing.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is. I don't know why I said you think so. It very much is.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
Alright, so back to the numbers. Let's see. So this came out August 12th, 2020. It had a budget of $205 million. A very expensive movie, and it didn't make its money back. Opening weekend, it only made $9 million, but it was during the pandemic,
but it was during
right?
Quarantine.
Right in the middle of the pandemic. And total, all it made was $365 million, so it didn't make its money back. But this movie's the reason that Christopher Nolan stopped making movies with Warner Brothers, because they released it on streaming without his permission. So he lost all the money, and people didn't watch the movie the way that he wanted people to watch the movie. You know how in Oppenheimer, he was like, go watch the IMAX. It was made for IMAX. That kind of thing. So that movie didn't make anything, but I honestly adore this movie. I think it has one of the best plots.
All of the Christopher Nolan movies have been fucking good. I don't think there's a bad one that I have seen so far.
This one was so good that he fell asleep.
Yeah.
What part did you fall asleep in?
Okay, I didn't fall asleep. I caught myself basically. Because it was on the final mission.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking. I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes. They're fighting. They're shooting each other. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, no fucking way. I just missed some important information, and now we're in a battlefield.
What a cool battlefield.
Yeah.
I thought it was so sick.
That's the part that I'm saying that method of time traveling is so confusing. Because even after I rewatched it twice for the people. Because Brian said the first time you're not going to get it. You watch somebody explain it, and then you rewatch it, and you're going to get it the second time. That's what Brian said.
Did I?
Not really. Cause,
oh, my bad.
I say the first time watching it, and then the the explanation was enough for me. The second time I watched it was sort of like I didn't really need it, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the explanation did help.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the way they time travel was so confusing, because in the final battle, there's people going forward in time and people going backwards. And like, it was just so confusing. I didn't understand it, and I basically just spawned in the middle of it, you know?
Because you caught yourself waking up.
Yeah. And it was until the second watch where I like got the information that I missed the first time. And it was just like the plan. They're going over the plan. That's what I missed.
It's like a temporal pincer movement.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the plot twist of that Neo the whole time was like the guy with the little red keychain?
Neo is the keychain guy. I'll be honest, I didn't catch the keychain when they were in the opera place.
Like in the very beginning of the movie?
Yeah, I did not catch that. It was only the very last part
where he dies.
Yeah, where he dies, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. That was Neo right there. That's the only time, because the keychain the first time slipped. You know, I didn't notice it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so weird because like supposedly, you know how like at the end of the movie it shows like Pat, the lady's little son, and like it's setting him up to be Neo. I don't understand that, because then he would have to age up enough for the protagonist to recruit him, but then he has to go backwards in time, still aging, like however many years. You get me?
I get it.
I think that part's what I don't like about the movie.
When I was watching the explanation video, people were saying Neo's death it didn't make sense.
How so?
They were talking. They're all doing like the little like scientific type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, if Neo went back in time to stop the bullet, I completely forgot it, but it's just they were basically saying that bullet shouldn't have not killed him because it would not have been there. Like that little event, how he died, should not have happened because it was not possible. But it somehow happened.
I think, aside from I think Christopher Nolan did a good job of making it all make sense in a very confusing way. Like everything's confusing, but if you really look at it, it makes sense. It's just crazy. Like you have to look at timelines, you have to watch videos. But yeah, I think this is peak movie, one of my favorite movies. What do you rate it?
The thing that actually that I was like, damn, I didn't know that happened, was when I was watching the timeline video. And I didn't know that I forgot the antagonist's name. It was like Sakov or something like that.
Sator.
Sata, something like that. Yeah. After the protagonist gave him the Pluton, he went back in time to Vietnam time, and he was on the yacht. Do you remember that? Yeah. I didn't know he went back in time.
So you thought that was original Sator on the yacht?
Yeah, I thought that was original him, and when she showed him the scar and he got surprised, I was confused by that. I didn't understand it.
Because you were like, how does he know?
Yeah, I was like, why is he getting surprised by that? Like, does he just not know he gave her a scar? And he's like, that's not my original girl. But yeah, I watched the explanation, and he went back in time when his original time guy left in the helicopter.
Yeah. And then he took the place, and he tried bamboozling Kat, but Kat was also trying to bamboozle him, and it was double bamboozling. And he just fucking shot him. What a way to go. I also think I like the ending of how it's like, oh, we ought to go our 3 different ways and then like hide this, and then we gotta like basically kill ourselves so we make sure we don't tell anybody. But then Neo just fucking instantly gives his to the protagonist and fucks that plan up because he's like, I gotta go die. Which, like,
yeah.
I guess I see what you mean by Neo didn't have to die. Because at that point, they were done. Because it's, oh my god, what a confusing movie. I never thought about this. They were done. Why did he have to go die? He didn't have to die. Because like,
and
oh my god, because like he says, what's done is done.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's what. Whatever happens, happened. So he doesn't need to do that. Wallahi.
In the comments of the video that I watched, they're like, it's crazy to think how there was like 6 Neils at the same place at the same time.
Dude,
and then I started counting it. And I was like, that's so true. Because there was one that was dead on the floor, another one that was sneaking into that little cave the first time, and he watched himself basically leave before he hopped into the I forgot what the machine was called.
The inverter or whatever.
Yeah, that's 3 right there, and the one that was driving the car, that's 4.
It's so crazy, and the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes sense. Like if you look at it, the timeline, it makes sense why they're all there, but it's like so insane. So, I guess when the first time that Neo went all the way back in time after he met the protagonist, he had to go all the way back in time to the opera house, huh?
Yeah.
Because or else he'd be dead if he didn't go back there. That's so fascinating. That's so much dedication to go back all those years of your life.
And it's not even like an instant thing, huh? It's just going backwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's aging all those years going backwards. Like, it's such dedication. Like, unless they put him to sleep or some shit, like that's the one thing I can't wrap my head around in this movie, is when they like.
And you have to like have that little the breathing thing on your face.
Yeah, you can't run out of oxygen or else he's gonna die. So they have to get the supply of oxygen. How's he gonna eat? How does he eat? Did they explain that? I'm stressed.
When the protagonist, we don't know his name.
It's literally the protagonist.
It's protagonist. When it showed him going back in time and he was the one in like when the car flipped over, that was mind blowing to me.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck?
No, that's when I first watched this movie. I was like, this is so sick, but I don't get any of what's going on.
I didn't get
like the airport scene when he's going back to the airport and he's like running in and like he's fighting his other self, but you saw that fight the other perspective earlier in the movie. I was like, what is going on? This is so cool. It's such a cool concept.
The whole fight, the first time it happened was cool. The second time, I was so confused because he was fighting himself at the same time running away, and that's the one that Neo caught. And right now, I watched a video of it like happening. I still don't understand it. I'm still confused on that whole airport scene. I know what they were doing, they're trying to heal her.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how he's there, but he goes back in time and also forward, and then there's just 3 of them. It was confusing.
I feel like, I'd have to draw this out, because I feel like there is an explanation, but I'd have to physically draw it out. Yeah. But it's, like, I want to know how the fuck did he come up with this idea of a movie? How did he write this? Like, what was the fucking writing room looking like? Did they all understand what the hell this guy was yapping about?
He had to draw it out.
He probably did have a whiteboard. I like, though, that, like, in both the Christopher Nolan movies we've seen, it's kind of like he's playing with time. Like, in Inception, it was like time slows down in the dream, and in this one, he's moving through time, like, forwards and backwards. I just think that's interesting. Also,
I like
you go.
I was gonna say, I like how they talked about Oppenheimer.
They said that, or the reason that he made the Oppenheimer movie was because Robert Pattinson gifted him the book that the movie's based on while they were filming this movie.
Hey.
And so he read the book and he was like, this needs to be brought to the big screen. So I guess without Tenet, there'd be no Oppenheimer. Which, did I add to the wheel? No, I'm not adding that to the wheel.
No.
That's crazy. What was I gonna say? Dang, I lost my train of thought. Guess it wasn't important. Let's see here. As always, I got my trivia. Let's read some trivia. So the 747 airplane that they crashed, that was real. No CGI, no effects, no nothing. That was a real plane that they crashed, but they only crashed it the one time, so they had to like get all the film and the shots right. They couldn't fucking crash into a building. And then in order to do the stunts backwards, they actually had to practice to like how to move backwards. So like when the protagonist is fighting himself in the corridor, it's not like reversed or anything. It's both of them like, or both the protagonist actor and the stuntman knowing how to do moves that look like one of them's moving backwards, and then redoing it so it's the other guy's moving backwards. It took extensive training from them.
I like how he on the second fight he was able to counter himself because he knew what he was gonna do.
Yeah, literally. Why was he shooting himself? Like,
oh yeah, that's so true. Huh? He went back in time. He's let me just shoot myself. For the plot, he had to do it.
But I guess you're right because he had to, because the bullet holes were in the glass, so he had to shoot it. But like, why? Oh my god, this movie. Why did he do it? Like that's what I was gonna say. I don't get the objects moving and like flying into your hand. I don't get that.
You
like,
don't?
I don't get how items can be reversed and then they still have like gravity, or not like gravity, like they move. Because like when Sator's showing the gold, they open the box and the gold just flies into his hand. What does that mean? How did they know to do that? Oh my god! You know what?
Because he knows they're going back in time.
No, but how does the gold do that? Like he didn't pick up the gold. The gold just flew into his hand.
What are I'm not even joking. I actually, when that happened, I was also confused on how it happened. But the bars were so thin, so it was like just like opening your fingers and they drop. He had like three bars in his hand.
Yeah, but they floated up to him.
I'd have to show you how the motion happens, but I get that one. I get how it happened.
Or like even when like that one scientist lady that's in this movie for like one scene in the very beginning, when she's explaining like, look, pick up the bullet, and then it just flies into his hand. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I understand.
Oh, like, wait, you just don't understand how it happened? Like, or
I don't understand why the objects. I don't understand why the objects themselves are defying gravity.
Oh, okay.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Or they're like, oh, this is an inverted pistol. You can shoot it, but it catches the bullets. But like
he basically programs the movement.
But when
he does it.
But we're watching the protagonist, like, up until he first reverses time in that one turnstile, which is watching him understand it as himself. So when did he have the time to get the bullet and like drop it? Or does he just like will it into his hand?
Yeah, he like wills like in the video, you know?
What video?
The video that she showed him. She recorded him picking it up or dropping it.
I do not.
Wait. She records him picking it up. He like the bullet floated up to his hand and he did the motion as if like he like grabbed it. And then she reversed the video and it looked like he dropped it. So it's like you said, you had to practice how to do your movements backwards. That's basically what it was. Just doing your movements backwards and it'll visualize it. Like if you were shooting the gun, you had to pretend you already shot it. So like your finger would already be in the trigger and just releasing it. And it's like if you reverse it, you're squeezing the trigger.
Dude. Oh my goodness. I get what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense to me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like... It's just like if I'm walking backwards, and then it's in a video, you record it and you reverse it, I'm walking forwards now. But that with objects. You pretend you're picking it up, so it just floats up to your hand, and when you reverse it, it looks like you're dropping it. And that's how it programs it.
Man, I'm not. I get what you're saying, but it doesn't add up for me. Oh my goodness. All right, whatever. Who cares? All right. Yeah. So, what'd you think of the movie, man? Would you rate this movie?
I was gonna say in that scene, she literally says like, "Don't think about it too much."
That's why. That's why. Like when I rewatched the movie, I was like, whatever. But like, this is the most thought I've put into it since I first watched the movie.
Yeah. You said what I rate it?
Yeah.
This one, I'd say An 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's solid. All right, how about this? Would you recommend this movie?
It depends on who I'm recommending it to. Because, like, let's say if Axel wanted to watch it, he's not gonna like it.
Our Axel being one of our friends, who, if you want to get to know better, you can go ahead and head over to our sister podcast, the Sleepover Podcast. But yeah, he would not understand this movie. He'd be mad.
In general, yeah. I would recommend it. It's a good movie.
I would recommend it if someone's... Oh, man. I want to watch... I don't know. I would recommend it to someone, but I'd tell them exactly what I told you. I was like, you're not going to understand the movie. Like, it's like... with them, like, I'd be telling them, like, straight up, like, this movie's not going to make sense. But, like, that's part of the movie, in my opinion, is the fact that it doesn't make sense. But it's still a good plot. It still has good action. I think the action was very good in this movie. Like, when they shoot the bazookas at the building and they time it.
That was so cool.
It is, huh?
Yeah, because for one of them, the top half blows up and the other one, the bottom half.
Mm-hmm. And, like, since this movie has, like, no CG, like, how the fuck did they do that? Like, how did they time? True. That's so impressive to me. What a masterpiece movie. Not masterpiece. What a good banger movie. Alright, I would rate this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. Just because if you think about it too much, it hurts your head. And would I recommend it? I would recommend it. I think everybody should go out and watch this movie if you haven't already. Even though you just got it spoiled by listening to this episode, go and watch this movie.
All right? No, I don't know why you're watching. I don't know why you're listening to that episode without listening to our last one where we recommended this movie.
Yeah, where we said we're gonna watch this movie because we spun the wheel, which leads us into our next section. We're about to spin that wheel.
Woohoo!
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up for me and Puedo so we can both give a live reaction to this. Sorry for the people at home, you can't see a live reaction. All right, spinning the wheel. See?
Yeah, let's see this.
See what we get. It's spinning. It's spinning.
Chronicles. Oh, I'm kidding.
It's spinning.
Hidden
Figures.
Hidden Figures.
This is one of Puedo's choices. This is like one of 2 movies that Puedo put on this board.
Where's the other one?
This is the only movie Puedo put on this board. Alright. Well, we're watching Hidden Figures about NASA, about like black women working at NASA. That's that one, right?
Yep.
Alright, we're watching that movie.
And his young Sheldon.
He's in it?
Yeah.
I think I watched this movie once and I think I fell asleep. Alright. Well, this has been the Tenet episode of the Sleepover Movie Club. Thank you so much for listening. If you like to keep up with us, go ahead and follow us on Twitter at SleepoverMC. Follow our individual Twitters at Brian Rivera 95 and at Boyle12197. On our Twitter bio, we have a link for movie recommendations. Go ahead and submit those. And I think that's everything. Bye.
Bye.